Welcome to Veterinary. In this video, I'm going to talk about pneumonia. Pneumonia is a term that is used to describe any inflammatory condition of the lungs. Okay, so on the basis of the texture, distribution, appearance, and exudation, the pneumonia can be grossly diagnosed or classified into four distinct types: bronchopneumonia, interstitial pneumonia, embolic pneumonia, and granulomatous pneumonia. Okay, we have bronchopneumonia, interstitial pneumonia, embolic pneumonia, and granulomatous pneumonia. In some cases, we see a mixture of bronchopneumonia and interstitial pneumonia. In this case, it is called bronchointerstitial pneumonia. So let us first talk about bronchopneumonia. As the name suggests, it is inflammation in the bronchial and bronchiolar and alveolar lumen. It is characterized by cranioventral consolidation of lungs. Very important point. So by cranioventral consolidation, what do we mean? We mean that the cranioventral part of the lungs is firmer or harder. Okay, it is generally caused by bacteria, mycoplasma, bronchoaspiration of feed or gastric content, or by improper tubing. It is further subdivided into two types on the basis of the nature of the exudate. Okay, so if the exudate has more neutrophils, it is called suppurative bronchopneumonia. If the exudate has increased fibrin, then we call it fibrinous bronchopneumonia. Okay, suppurative bronchopneumonia is also called lobar pneumonia. The exudate, as I said, has increased neutrophils. It grossly resembles checkerboard due to the mixture of normal and consolidated lobules. Microscopically, we will see hyperplasia of Bart, commonly seen and appear as conspicuous white nodules, cuffs around bronchial walls, and that is why it is also known as coughing pneumonia. Okay, so this is a microscopic picture of the bronchiole, right? And you can see these neutrophils. Okay, there's this accumulation of neutrophils, and this is the exudate. And in this diagram, you can see this is the capillary, and through which the neutrophils are migrating towards the lumen. Okay, and grossly you can see this C is the consolidated region. So all this region is consolidated while this region is normal. Okay, in this cross section, you can see this is consolidated region and this is normal. Then there's fibrinous. It is also called as lobar pneumonia or pleuropneumonia. Exudate has increased fibrin. It is characterized by congestion and hemorrhage, giving the lung intense red discoloration. Okay, after some time, there'll be accumulation of fibrin, which will give the pleura a ground glass-like appearance. Okay, this is ground glass-like appearance of the pleura. This is accumulation of fibrin. Then there's edema of interlobular septa, which will give a marbled appearance to the lung. This is the picture in which you can see the marbled appearance. By the way, all these pictures are taken from the book Pathological Basis of Veterinary Diseases by James F Zachary. And see, these are all the septa, and it is giving a marbled look, and this is very common, or we can say it is very characteristic of a disease in cattle called HS, hemorrhagic septicemia. Okay, then there's also one thing called sequestra. So what are these? In case of animals that survive early stages of fibrinous bronchopneumonia, pulmonary necrosis often develops into pulmonary sequestra, and sequestra are isolated pieces of necrotic lung encapsulated by connective tissue. This is also very common in case of HS, and also it is common in case of CBPP. Okay, contagious bovine pleuropneumonia. Then interstitial pneumonia. In this case, we have inflammation in any of the three layers of alveolar wall or contagious bronchiolar interstitium. The lesions tend to be diffuse, and they generally involve all pulmonary lobes. Presence of rib impressions on the pleural surface of the lungs indicate poor deflation. So these arrows, you can see, these are all impressions of the lungs. Okay. Do know one thing, that in case of pneumonia, when there's accumulation of the exudate in the alveolar spaces, then the lungs will fail to float on water. So healthy lungs, or the lungs which are not filled with exudate, they will float on water because they have air, and pneumonic lungs, they will drown. Okay. Then in case of interstitial pneumonia, the texture is typically elastic or rubbery, and microscopically you will see hyperplasia of type 2 pneumocytes, squamous metaplasia of alveolar epithelium, hyperplasia of smooth muscles in the bronchioles and pulmonary arterioles. Then embolic pneumonia. So It may be due to a septic emboli or aseptic emboli. Okay, the lesions are multifocally distributed in all the pulmonary lobes. Lung injury is hematogenous, of course, because it is embolic pneumonia. There's emboli formation, and inflammation is centered in the pulmonary arterioles and alveolar capillaries. Now, the small white foci surrounded by discrete red hemorrhagic halos are characteristic lesions. So you can see, if you look closely, I hope you can appreciate these small foci, and they are surrounded by red halos like this. Okay, and this is a picture of a lung that has embolic pneumonia. Microscopically, this is that emboli right here with all that neutrophilic infiltration. Now, the fourth type is granulomatous pneumonia. It is usually chronic because it is granulomatous inflammation. So when the injury is caused by a pathogen or some foreign body that cannot be eliminated by phagocytosis. Okay, in this case, the inflammation will become chronic, right? And then we will have granuloma formation. So this is called granulomatous pneumonia, and it is commonly seen in pulmonary TB, tuberculosis. Okay, so this is some photos of granulomatous pneumonia. Now let us talk about the stages of pneumonia. This is also very commonly asked. So there are 4 stages of pneumonia. First, congestion. Second, red hepatization. Third, gray hepatization. Fourth, resolution. So congestion occurs within first 24 hours, and the common symptoms that are associated with pneumonia like coughing, fatigue, rapid breathing, and loss of appetite, respiratory distress, all these signs are associated with congestion. Then from second to third day, we will see red hepatization. So what is red hepatization? The RBC and immune cells will enter the fluid-filled lungs, and the hyperemia, it will give red color to the lungs. That is why it is called red hepatization. Why hepatization? Because hepat or hepa actually means lung. So anything that starts with hepatic, it will mean related to the liver. So hepatization means that the lung is looking like a liver. It has a texture of liver. Okay, and because of hyperemia, it is red color. So red hepatization. Then gray hepatization from 4th to 6th day. In this, the RBC will disintegrate, but we will see more and more migration of immune cells or lymphocytes. Okay, and that is why the red color will turn into gray color. Then the last stage is resolution from 7th to 10th day. This is basically the resolution of the pathological condition. So we will have resorption of the inflammatory fluids, the cellular debris, and restoration of normal air sacs in case of birds and normal airways. But if there is some residual inflammation, or if the body is not able to take care of the problem, then it will lead to chronic condition, and in that case you may also see pleural adhesions and scarring. So these are the pleural adhesions in case of chronic bronchopneumonia, and you can see that this portion is consolidated lung, right? In bronchopneumonia, I said that there's cranioventral consolidation, and because it has become chronic, now we can see these pleural adhesions. Okay, this is summary of all types of pneumonia, and this is it for this video. If you found this video useful, then please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.